Okay, I want you to picture something. Just for a second.
Yeah.
It's Thursday afternoon. It's, say, 2:00 p.m. The sun's out. Maybe it's raining. Doesn't matter. What matters is you close your laptop, you grab your bag, and you walk out the door.
Okay.
You're done. Your work week is finished. And the crazy part, you didn't get fired. You actually got everything done.
That sounds like a complete fantasy. For most people, Thursday at 2:00 p.m. is when the panic starts setting in for everything that's due Friday.
Right.
That's usually peak stress time, not clock out time.
It usually is.
Yeah.
But we're starting here because of a number that, honestly, it really stopped me in my tracks.
Oh, yeah.
It's from a McKinsey statistic cited in the material we're covering today. They claim that generative AI, if you use it correctly, can give you back up to 40% of your working hours.
That is a massive claim. And when you actually do the math on that, 40%, that isn't just, a long lunch break.
Oh,
That is effectively an entire extra work week every single month. Or, to put it in terms we all understand, that's enough time to binge a full season of a show on Netflix without that little nagging voice telling you that you should be answering emails.
I love that metric,
Okay.
the Netflix metric. That should be the standard unit of measurement for productivity.
Right.
But honestly, when I hear 40% efficiency gain, my skepticism alarm goes off. Because for most of us, adopting AI hasn't felt like a vacation. It feels more like homework. We're drowning in new tools, not swimming in free time.
And you've just hit on the exact tension our source is exploring today. We're looking at a really insightful article by Nono B. It's called AI Stacking for the Rest of Us.
Okay.
And the central argument is that the technology is there, the math holds up, but our behavior is what's getting in the way. We're all suffering from a very specific condition.
Which is?
Shiny object syndrome.
Oh, I am definitely guilty of that. I'll see a thread on X or LinkedIn about some game-changing tool. I sign up immediately.
Yeah.
I play with it for maybe 10 minutes, and then it just lives in a browser tab until my computer crashes and I lose it forever.
And that is the trap. Nono B argues that most of us are just grabbing every trending tool and, praying something sticks.
Yeah.
That's not a strategy, it's panic. And the result isn't productivity, it's tool fatigue. You end up just managing the tools instead of doing the work.
You become an administrator for a bunch of digital assistants that aren't actually helping.
Exactly.
So the mission for this deep dive is to fix that behavior. We're going to talk about AI stacking. Now, stacking sounds like we're just adding more things to the pile. Is that what we're doing? Because my pile is already toppling over.
It's actually the opposite. Think of it less like a pile of unread books and more like a carefully selected sports team. The author calls it building a productivity super team.
Okay, a super team.
It's about curation. It's about saying no to 99% of things so you can say a confident yes to the 1% that will actually make a difference.
Quality over quantity.
Precisely. We're going to break down a specific decision-making framework called S.P.A.C.E. It's like a filter to help you decide what actually deserves a spot in your workflow.
I like that. A filter.
And we're going to test that framework against 3 tools the author describes as obscure but sexy.
Obscure but sexy is my new favorite genre of software. But before we get to the S.P.A.C.E. framework, I want to nail down this concept of AI stacking. Because in the developer world, a stack is a very technical term. What does it mean for, the rest of us?
The definition here is really refreshing. It actually comes from a comment on the article by Ayaquaphobie Bouquet.
Okay.
And they point out that AI stacking isn't about knowing 500 different prompts or having 50 subscriptions. It's about making a select few tools work together to handle your specific drudgery.
Drudgery is the key word there. We're not trying to automate the fun parts of our jobs.
No, exactly. The goal is automation of the repetitive stuff. The author puts it pretty bluntly. The aim is to stop working like it's 2016.
Ouch. 2016 feels like yesterday, but I guess in tech years, that's the Stone Age.
We were barely using Slack back then.
That's true.
In the world of large language models, it's practically prehistoric. But to get out of 2016, there's a mindset shift that's required. Nono B warns against letting AI become just another inbox you forgot to check.
That resonates so much. If I have to log into 5 different dashboards just to figure out what my AI assistant did, I haven't saved any time.
Right.
I've just created a management position for myself managing robots.
Precisely. And that creates friction. The source argues that the process shouldn't even start with downloading a tool. It starts with mapping.
Mapping.
You have to audit your day. You can't hire an assistant, digital or human, if you don't know what tasks you're actually trying to offload.
Okay, so let's say I've done that. I know I spend way too much time on emails and meeting notes. I'm ready to hire some digital help, But there are thousands of tools launching every week. How do I filter the signal from all that noise?
And that is where the S.P.A.C.E framework comes in. It's an acronym that Nono B developed as a kind of gut check.
A gut check.
It's 5 criteria to determine if a tool is worth your time, your money, and, crucially, your data.
S.P.A.C.E. Let's walk through this letter by letter. S stands for.
S stands for solves a real problem.
Okay, that sounds almost too obvious to mention. I mean, who buys a tool that doesn't solve a problem?
You would be surprised. We often adopt tools because they're impressive, not because they're useful to us. The cool factor is a dangerous drug.
Hmm.
For example, you might see an AI that generates these incredible, surrealist videos of, I don't know, cats in spacesuits.
Which is amazing to watch. I've lost hours watching those.
It's incredible technology. But if you're a forensic accountant, does that solve a friction point in your daily workflow?
No.
No, it's a toy, not a tool.
So the S criteria is really asking, does this handle something I deal with every single day?
Right. It needs to address a recurring pain point. If it doesn't reduce friction, you skip it. It has to earn its keep by solving a problem that actually exists, not one you invented, just so you could use the shiny new software.
Okay, got it. So we've identified a real problem. What's P?
P is practical to use.
The learning curve test.
It is. And this is where a lot of really powerful tools fail for the average user. Nono B has a great rule of thumb here. If you need to watch 6 YouTube tutorials just to figure out the basic functions, it's not sustainable.
I have absolutely abandoned tools for that reason. I want to save time, not sign up for a part-time degree in prompt engineering.
That's the trade-off. If a tool requires 3 hours of setup and calibration before it saves you 5 minutes, it's already failing the practicality test. It needs to be intuitive enough to start delivering value almost immediately.
And if the friction of using the tool is higher than the friction of the task it's supposed to replace,
You'll just stop using it.
and then it goes to the graveyard of lost bookmarks. Okay, SP, what's A?
A stands for accurate output. And for generative AI, this is the big one.
The hallucination problem.
Exactly. You want a tool that gives reliable results. The trap here is insidious because it steals your time in a way you don't notice at first. Let's say you use a tool to write a market research report. It does it in 10 seconds. Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But then you have to fact check it.
And if you have to spend 45 minutes fact-checking every citation, correcting the tone, fixing weird errors, you haven't saved any time. You might have even lost time compared to just writing it yourself.
So accuracy isn't just about is it true, it's about is it usable without heavy editing.
Correct. If you're double-checking every single thing, it's not an assistant, it's a liability. A tool needs to be reliable enough that you can trust it. Maybe not 100%, but enough that you aren't constantly babysitting it.
Okay, moving on to C. This one feels really important for the stacking concept.
C is compatible with current tools. This is my personal favorite because it addresses the ecosystem we all live in.
Does it play nice with others?
Does it talk to the things you already use? Does it integrate with Zoom, Slack, Notion, Google Calendar? Or does it live on an island by itself?
I've seen this happen. You get a great note-taking AI, but it doesn't export to your project management software.
So you end up copy-pasting for an hour,
Exactly.
and that breaks the flow. We're creatures of habit. Nono B points out that if a tool requires us to leave our normal workflow to go visit it in a separate tab or app, we simply won't use it long term.
It's like having a really fancy toaster, but you keep it in the attic. You're just going to end up eating cold bread because the kitchen is where you are.
That is the perfect analogy. It has to fit into the kitchen you already have. If it disrupts your flow, it fails the C test.
Okay, and finally E. This is one that I think gets overlooked when we're all excited about the features.
E stands for ethically sound.
This is getting more and more attention lately, especially with how companies handle data.
Rightfully so. This criteria asks, how does the tool handle your data? Is the privacy policy clear? Do you own what you create? And crucially, is your data being used to train their model?
The trap here is usually the free tools, isn't it?
Often, yes. If a tool is free, but the terms are vague, Nono B warns that you are likely paying in ways you didn't agree to.
Your proprietary data becomes their product.
Precisely. In a corporate setting, that can be a major security issue. You need to know where your information is going. If you're uploading sensitive financial data into some free PDF analyzer, you might be failing the ethical and security test. It's about protecting your assets.
So that's S.P.A.C.E. solves a problem. Practical, accurate, compatible, and ethical.
And the reality check from the source is that most tools on the market right now They fail at least two of these criteria.
And note his verdict for those tools.
Bye, Felicia.
Ruthless. But I guess you have to be if you want that 40% of your time back.
You do.
Okay, so we have the framework. It's a great filter. But let's see it in action. Nono B shared 3 tools that are currently being tested in the wild. And these are described as weird but wonderful.
These are great examples because they highlight how different tools hit or miss different parts of the S.P.A.C.E framework. It's not always a perfect score.
First up, we have Rewind AI. This one is pitched as a memory assistant for your entire digital life.
The analogy they use is having Google for your brain.
Which sounds incredible. I mean, how many times have I thought, I saw that chart last week, was it in a Slack DM or an email, or did I just dream it?
Exactly. Rewind records everything you see, say, or hear on your computer, compresses it, and then makes it searchable. So looking at the framework, does it solve a real problem?
Absolutely.
It solves the massive problem of digital amnesia.
But I hear a but coming.
It hits a big snag on compatibility, the C, for a huge chunk of the population.
Let me guess. It's a Mac exclusive.
It works beautifully on Mac, but if you're on Windows, the source says it simply ghosts you.
Ah, the dreaded blue bubble treatment.
Okay.
So, high score on S, 0 score on C for all the Windows users.
And there's an E conversation there too, which the article touches on. Recording everything on your screen requires a massive amount of trust in the company's ethics and their security. For some, that's a deal breaker regardless of the utility. You have to decide if the convenience outweighs the privacy implications.
True. That's a big ask. Okay, tool number 2, Scribbly.
Scribbly addresses communication overload. It provides AI-generated replies for emails and for LinkedIn messages.
I feel like I spend half my life replying to emails. So, solves a real problem. Check.
And it scores high on P for practical. It's described as easy to use and customizable. You can adjust the tone so you don't sound like a generic bot.
There's a quote here I absolutely love regarding the benefit. It makes you sound smarter and more empathetic than you feel at 6 a.m.
We've all been there.
What?
Trying to write a polite per my last email message before the coffee is kicked in.
For sure.
However, there is a warning attached to this one regarding accuracy, or maybe nuance is a better word.
Right. You don't want to sound like a robot pretending to be a human.
If it's untrained, or if you just rely on it too heavily without reviewing, it can sound really stiff. Or worse, it can strip away your personality. So while it saves time, you have to monitor the output to make sure it still sounds like you.
It's an assistant, not a replacement.
Exactly.
Okay, last one. My guy.
Now, Magai is interesting because it's an aggregator. It houses all the major large language models, GPT, Claude, Gemini, under one roof in one single interface.
Oh, so instead of having 5 tabs open for 5 different chatbots and paying 5 different subscriptions, you just go to one place.
Correct. So for compatibility and versatility, it's a huge winner. It solves the problem of tab fatigue and subscription bloat.
But I can imagine that could be a double-edged sword.
It is. Nono B notes that this might overwhelm new users. It's great if you like to get nerdy and compare how Claude writes a poem versus how GPT writes it.
But if you just want an answer, and you panic when there are too many options,
Then it fails the practicality test for you. It adds cognitive load instead of reducing it. It's all about knowing your own tolerance for complexity.
it is really helpful to see the framework applied like that. It proves that there isn't one best tool. It's about, is this tool good for me?
That is the key distinction. The S.P.A.C.E framework forces you to be selfish. It's not about the technology, it's about your workflow. It forces you to evaluate tools based on your reality, not the marketing hype.
So we have the mindset, stop hoarding, start stacking. We have the framework S.P.A.C.E. We have some examples. But how do we actually implement this without falling back into our old habits? Because I know myself, I'll delete everything today, and then next week I'll see some cool demo video and I'm right back at square one.
The strategy here is really about restraint and skepticism. The goal isn't to drown in tech. Nono B mentions looking for receipts.
Receipts, what does that mean in this context?
It means looking for proof of work. Don't trust the marketing hype. Don't trust the slick demo video produced by the company where everything works perfectly. Look for real workflows.
Do you mean like user reviews?
Deeper than that. Look for people showing how they actually use the tool in their day-to-day. Look for YouTube videos where someone walks through a messy, real-life project using the tool.
Like seeing someone actually cook with a fancy blender instead of just watching the commercial where the fruit explodes in slow motion.
Exactly. If you can't find anyone actually using it for real work, it's probably just vaporware, or it's not ready for prime time.
And going back to that mapping concept, You need to do the work before you buy the tool.
The advice here is to audit your routine. Literally write down what you did today. Where was the friction? Where did you sigh in frustration?
So don't buy the tool to find a problem. Find the problem, then hunt for the tool.
If you do that and you filter it with S.P.A.C.E., you end up with a stack that actually gives you that 40% of your time back. You stop forcing AI into places it doesn't belong and put it exactly where it can lift the heaviest load.
And when you get that right, when the tools are talking to each other and all that drudgery disappears.
As the source quotes, it's magic Coldplay.
I'm not sure if Coldplay is the universal metric for magic, but I'll take it.
I think it implies a sense of flow. When the tools work, you don't even notice them. They become invisible. You just notice that you're getting more done with less stress. You're not fighting the computer anymore.
And that really brings us back to why we're doing this. It's not about being the most tech-savvy person in the room. It's not about having the most icons on your dock.
No, it's about reclaiming your life. That 40% statistic isn't just about productivity for the company. It's about agency. It's about getting time back for the things that actually matter to you.
Whether you use that time for deep strategic work that gets you promoted.
Or watching that full season of Netflix.
Or that. Both are valid uses of your time. The point is, it becomes your choice, not a sacrifice you make to the gods of administrative busy work.
It's about leaving work at 2:00 p.m. on a Thursday, metaphorically or literally, and feeling like you've won.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? We've talked about the S.P.A.C.E. framework. Solves a problem. Practical, accurate, compatible, ethical. It's a simple filter, but it is powerful.
It really is. Think of it as a shield against the hype cycle. The next time you see some revolutionary new tool, just run it through S.P.A.C.E. If it doesn't pass, let it go.
Nono B mentions an invite to a beginner's course in the article, urging people to stop working like it's 2016. But even without the course, you can start this today.
You can. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises a really important question about our digital environments. We curate our homes, we throw out old clothes, we organize our kitchens,
Right.
but we let our digital lives become these cluttered, chaotic messes.
So true. We are digital hoarders. We have apps from 3 years ago that we haven't opened, subscriptions we forgot we were paying for.
We do. So here's a final provocative thought to leave you with.
Let's hear it.
If you audited your current tool set right now, open up your phone, look at your desktop, check your bookmarks bar, and you ruthlessly apply the S.P.A.C.E. framework, how many of those apps would actually survive the cut?
That is a scary question. And more importantly, which ones are just cluttering up your bookmarks graveyard, paying in data for value you aren't even receiving?
It might be time for a digital spring cleaning.
I think I need to go delete some things right now.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive into AI stacking. Hopefully we just helped you save a little bit of that 40%.
See you next time.